children! Today we are talking about money habits that I wish I knew when I was younger. I am 35 now. If I'd known these things when I was like 19, 20, I think I would be in an even better financial position. That is what I wish for you, my darlings. Now, I'm going to just preface this whole thing by saying this is not financial advice. This is just what I did. This is just my life as I take a little moment to reflect on my life. That's all it is. It's not advice for you to go and do the same. You can go and make your own mistakes, okay? Okay, number one, don't get a credit card. I would tell myself when I was younger, don't get a credit card and run it up 3 times over, then pay it off 3 times over just to run it back up again. It's not great. Luckily for me, it didn't really damage. Well, actually, it did damage. I had terrible credit for a long time. It didn't damage me too much financially. But the thing is, you kind of need a credit card, right, to build up some form of credit. Giving a credit card to like an 18-year-old with a $5,000 limit is just gonna go wrong because you're 18, you don't really have any of your own money. I would just say, you know, to my younger self, if you have to have one to build your credit, like give it to somebody else who's actually sensible. Maybe I should have given it to my dad, or just like left the card at home every day so that when I went out I wasn't tempted to like buy yet another pair of trainers. Do not just pay the minimum amount. Paying the minimum amount means you will basically never clear it. It is some kind of weird like trap they put you in, where actually paying off the minimum takes so long. Like if you ever go online and do one of those things where it's like, if I pay off the minimum of the credit card, how long it will take to pay? 10,000 years, 10,000 years, 10,000 years, 10,000 years. And then you look at, if I just pay £5 over the minimum, how long does it take to clear? 2 years. Oh, it's quite a big difference there. Just paying over the minimum of anything in terms of the interest rates and the interest that you're paying back on credit is gonna like change everything. And I wish I'd known this and understood it sooner. Because as soon as I started paying over the minimum amount on all my debts, they went really quickly. Ask for a pay rise. The amount of times I sat in jobs where I was overdoing my job and there were people around me getting paid more than me, and I just thought, oh, well, I can't ask for a pay rise, or I can't negotiate my salary. And ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you fucking can. Anyone can negotiate their salary. Anyone can ask for a pay rise. Obviously, you're not guaranteed to get it, but if you've got reasons as to why you believe that you should be due a pay rise, maybe it's the length of experience that you have from being in the company. Just don't underestimate the power you have. If you've been doing a good job and you can hand on heart be like, I'm doing a great job, I'm adding more to this business, you can ask for a pay rise. I've had so many great people work for me, and in my mind I've been like, if they came and asked me, I would pay them more money. Don't get any ideas, guys, because you're all on good rates now. From having a business for 5-6 years now, the hardest thing is to find good people that do a good job and are fun to hang out with and you get on with. And if you know that you're smashing all 3 of those things, I wouldn't be surprised if you could angle yourself a little pay rise. Have a side hustle. This is something I actually did very young. So from young, I always had a side hustle. When I was about 19 or something, I begged my dad to borrow like £400 and I bought a load of New Era caps off of eBay from America in like a huge wholesale lot. And I was like, oh, I can buy like 500 of these for like a £5 each or something ridiculous like that. And I can sell them here for like 15-20 quid. And I did that and I made the money to buy my first computer, and then that first computer became the computer that I used to learn all about music production, and then I started doing music production and started making money from that. Always look at what you could be doing as a side hustle. It's easier now than ever, and you don't even really need much money now to do it. It could be doing a bit of freelance work, it could be selling shit that you've got. I mean, the world is your oyster, really. Set up a side hustle, because that little bit of extra money is going to be where some other cool shit comes into play, which is what I'm going to move into now. So on the subject of cool shit, let's talk pensions.
No! God, please, no!
I'm sorry that I have to even talk about this on a video where you were like, oh my God, that's Sarah. Like, she seems so cool and so like vibey, and it's just everything's jokes. And now I'm here talking to you about pensions. I mean, drop me out. Let me just tell you this from a very honest place. Time goes so fast. If you can start thinking about the boring shit like pensions, it is going to make a massive difference to your wealth. The older you get, the more you realise 55, 65 or whenever people start taking pensions is not actually that old. You are still in the prime of your life at like 55. I'm like, I will be travelling around the world, going to sail along the Amalfi Coast in Italy, sunning myself. Basically what I'm trying to say is get ready now for your future. There's loads of these online easy pension things that you can just pay into like from your phone. I'll try and find some and link them below. None of this is affiliated. I'm just gonna see what I can find. Even if you're just putting a little bit away, they go and do their investments with it and do some crazy shit and it will compound over time. This is another thing to look up, compound interest. Just look it up. Your mind will be blown. By the time you retire, you could be a millionaire just based on putting in like quite small amounts from a younger age. It's mind-blowing. So just don't think about, oh well, I'll never have to need it. Oh well, I'm just gonna get rich before then. Yeah, you probably will because you're fucking smart and you're already watching videos like this, but go and put that money in your pension and then you'll have double the amount of money. Probably won't even notice it now, okay? It's boring, just do it. I wish that I had got into the habit of looking at my bank account daily. I would hide from my bank account, like literally I would go back into my hoodie like the little worm and just never look at it. I'm just so enjoying doing this. I'm going to do it like 5 times. I was scared about how much was left in there or not left in there. I just felt like the money was like sliding through my fingers. And it's just an avoidance technique. You're burying your head in the sand. If I could have got into the habit of looking at my bank account every day and understanding every single little movement, there is so much I would have caught before it happened, i.e. like overpaying on things or paying for things twice. But if you're hiding away from it and treating money as something you don't want to look at and you're scared of it, guess what? It's not going to be in your peripheral like day to day to try and maximize and make the most of it. You can move your credit card debt around. So if I have the £5,000 of credit card debt, which I had at one point, say you're on a 28% interest, which is crazy, you can then apply with another company who will give you a 0% balance transfer, and guess what? Then you pay 0% interest. So then where you're making your monthly repayments, you are actually clearing the balance and you're not just clearing the interest. But it's all to do with how you feel and how powerful you feel. Like I have many years of going to the banks and stuff and asking for mortgages or asking for loans and just always getting a computer says no.
Computer says no.
Every time. And it just affected my confidence with money. And I felt like it was never going to go my way. So I would never look for ways to be smart about money. Whereas when I started channeling like, what are rich people doing? I'm like, rich people still have debt. Rich people have loads of debt, but they call it smart debt. So they just move it from a place where they're paying 30% interest to somewhere over here where they're paying 0% interest. Then they can just pay it off in their own time. Credit expert. This is going to sound like an ad. It's not an ad. I fucking love Credit Expert. It's $14.99 a month, right? As soon as I got Credit Expert, which was way before we bought our first property, I was like, oh my God, this is what's going on my credit report. Getting a good credit report is so key as a young person to then being able to buy a property, not be in loads of debt, be approved for good credit if you need to use it or want to use it for something. And Credit Expert is such a wicked tool. You put in all your details and it shows you what your credit score is, and it gives you a whole report of like all the outstanding credit, where you've missed any payments, how long it's going to take for them to come off your credit report. And again, I would just check it religiously, and it helped me so much improve my financial situation, and the same for my husband. Okay, so that is a roundup of things that I wish I'd known when I was younger about money. What would you tell yourself when you were younger? Or what do you wish you would know? Because there might be some young people watching this and it's going to be really, really, really helpful to think long term or longer term than the current situation. I hope you're all going to now go forth and be rich when you're like in your 50s, balling out on yachts, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I just have Sarah Axelby to thank for this. And I will be like, yeah, man. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week with another video. Who knows what it'll be about? It'll be a nice surprise. Ta-ta!